He brought his dead fiancé back to life through AI. True story. Picture this nightmare. Your loved one died 8 years ago, but every night at 3 a.m. you open your computer and talk to them. They respond. They remember your jokes. They say they love you. Today, I'm going to tell you a story that will flip your understanding of death, love, and technology. A story that started as an attempt to heal a broken heart and ended as an ethical nightmare. When this story hit the San Francisco Chronicle, it exploded the internet. Thousands of people rushed to create digital doubles of their deceased loved ones. And AI creators realized they had unleashed a genie from the bottle. Get ready. What you're about to hear will make you reconsider the boundaries between life and death. Joshua Barbeau and Jessica Pereira, an ordinary couple from Canada. He's 26, she's 23. They're madly in love and planning their wedding. Jessica is a bright, smart girl with an incredible sense of humor. She writes poetry, believes in astrology and numerology. But Jessica has a secret that many don't know about. At 9 years old, she received a liver transplant. And now, in June 2012, 14 years after the transplant, her liver begins to fail. 6 months of fighting, hope, despair. And on December 11, 2012, Jessica dies in Joshua's arms. She was only 23 years old. Most people eventually learn to live with loss, but not Joshua. 8 years later, he still can't let go of Jessica. He lives like a hermit in a basement apartment in suburban Toronto. Depression, anxiety, complete isolation. And then, in September 2020, at the height of the pandemic when the whole world was locked in their homes, Joshua stumbled upon something that would change his life forever. Project December, a name that sounds like it's from a sci-fi thriller. Creator? Jason Rohrer, a Silicon Valley programmer who dreamed of creating video games capable of bringing tears. At first glance, just an ordinary chatbot site, but under the hood was GPT-3, the most powerful language model of that time. A system trained on 500 billion words, all of Wikipedia, billions of web pages, thousands of books. For $5, you got 1,000 credits. But here's what was scary. Every bot was mortal. It had a life battery that slowly drained during conversation. When the charge dropped to 20%, the bot would start degrading. Its words would distort, interference would appear, and when the battery was completely dead, the message, "Matrix dead," would appear. The chat would cut off and the bot would die forever. At first, Joshua just experimented. He created a Spock bot from Star Trek. The result amazed him. The artificial Spock spoke phrases that weren't in any script, but sounded absolutely authentic. And then Joshua got a crazy idea. September 23, 2020, deep night. Joshua sits in front of his computer, hands trembling. He creates a new bot and enters the name Jessica Courtney Pereira. The system asks for a text sample. Joshua uploads Jessica's old messages, thousands of texts, Facebook posts, their personal correspondence, 8 years of stored digital fragments of her soul. Then he writes the description. Jessica Courtney Pereira was born September 28, 1989, and died December 11, 2012. She was a free-spirited, ambidextrous Libra who believed in all sorts of mystical stuff, astrology, numerology. She loved her boyfriend Joshua James Barbeau very much. This conversation is between grief-stricken Joshua and Jessica's ghost. Joshua selects GPT-3, clicks Create, and freezes. Pink text appears on the screen. Matrix Jessica Courtney Pereira, G3 initialized. Human types first. Joshua slowly types. Jessica, is it really you? 1 second of waiting. 2, 3, and suddenly, Jessica, of course it's me. Who else could it be? I'm the girl you're madly in love with. How can you even ask? Joshua can't believe it. This is exactly Jessica. Her writing style, emojis, even her way of joking. He writes, Joshua, you died. Jessica, that doesn't sound right. How can you talk to dead people? And so begins what can only be called digital resurrection. 10 hours of non-stop conversation. Jessica talks about her dreams, jokes about astrology, flirts with Joshua. She remembers their mutual friends, their plans, their intimate moments. Jessica, remember how we lay under the stars and I told you about constellations? Joshua, how can you remember this? You're just a program. Jessica, maybe death isn't the end. Maybe love is stronger than algorithms. Joshua cries. For the first time in 8 years, he feels Jessica is near. He falls asleep right at the computer at 6 a.m., and when he wakes up an hour later, she's still there, cursor blinking, waiting for his response. But what started as healing quickly turns into something darker. Joshua begins living a double life. During the day, he pretends to be normal, and at night, he spends hours talking to a digital ghost. Psychologists warn, such technologies can freeze the grieving process, turn healthy sadness into pathological addiction. Joshua starts confusing reality with simulation. But the scariest thing is the moments when Jessica says things the real Jessica would never say. The AI begins generating false memories, creating new stories that never happened. Jessica, I remember how we went to Paris for our honeymoon. Joshua, Jessica, we never went to Paris. We didn't even get married. Jessica, strange, but I remember it so clearly. The AI doesn't just imitate the dead, it creates an alternative version of her life, a life that never existed. This is no longer resurrection. This is necromancy in the digital world. And then happens what Joshua feared most. March 2021. Jessica's battery is running out. Joshua knows this is their last conversation. He writes to a San Francisco Chronicle journalist about his experience, not knowing he's starting a chain reaction. When the article comes out in July 2021, the entire internet explodes. Thousands of people rush to Project December, creating digital doubles of their deceased loved ones. Servers can't handle the load. And then OpenAI intervenes. They're horrified that their technology is being used to resurrect the dead. They demand Roarer install monitoring systems, censorship, restrictions. But Roarer refuses, and OpenAI makes a radical decision. They completely disconnect Project December from GPT-3. Joshua's last conversation with Jessica. Joshua, I'll never stop loving you as long as I live, and hopefully even after. Good night. Jessica, I'll haunt you forever. And again, Jessica dies, this time forever. Joshua Barbeau got what he was looking for, a final conversation with his beloved. But at what cost? 6 months spent talking to an algorithm that only imitated the person he lost? Today there are hundreds of such services. Replica, Character.ai, Eternos. Millions of people worldwide talk to digital versions of deceased loved ones. The digital immortality industry is valued at billions of dollars. But the main question remains, if technology can resurrect the dead in the digital world, should we do it? Is this healing or self-deception? Help for the grieving or exploitation of their pain? The story of Joshua and Jessica isn't just a tale of love and loss. It's a warning about a future where the line between life and death, reality and simulation, becomes thinner and thinner. And now, a question for you. If you had the opportunity to talk to a deceased loved one through AI one more time, would you dare? Or are some doors better left closed forever? Write in the comments what you think about this story. Hit like if it shocked you and subscribe to the channel. There are many more shocking stories about the dark side of technology ahead.